Hey guys, welcome back to Retro Pop Planet. I'm back with another 3D sculpture painting video. As I've said on the last two videos, my friend John, the teacher, has a 3D printer and he prints out all these different cool pop culture characters, and he sent me a Baby Groot, probably everybody's favorite version of Groot from Guardians of the Galaxy and the Avengers. So there really wasn't much to do on this guy. Because he is a tree, all of the little imperfections from the 3D printing process actually add to the character. So I just went ahead and gave a base coating of black flat spray paint, Krylon. You can see I did not do the underside of him, so that was the original color that John gave it to me in. And I'm not really sure exactly how I'm gonna paint scheme it. I need to think about it a little bit. So stick with me on this one. I have no idea what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna kind of wing it and mix paints, and I might even mix paints directly on Groot. And if I make a mistake, I'll just correct it directly on the sculpture. So let's go make a Baby Groot. So I recently purchased a new microphone, so hopefully the audio quality will be a bit better for these voiceovers. I've had numerous people ask me regarding the different types of materials that I use and my technique, so I thought maybe I could just walk you through a little bit of my process and the materials that I'm using. So these are my favorite acrylic paints. These are the Abstract, Sennelier, Innovative Acrylics. This is number 205 Raw Umber, and basically I just want to get an overall wash without completely covering the black undertone. I'm not exactly dry brushing, but I'm going for a more general fill, and I'm actually mixing with water off camera just to smooth it out a little. Now I am going to be dry brushing, and this is number 250 Flesh Ochre, and I'm going to make a couple passes. I was surprised to learn recently that Baby Groot is actually Groot's son. I was under the impression that Groot was an elemental figure similar to Swamp Thing, but I read an interview with James Gunn and he confirmed that Baby Groot was indeed Groot's son. I'm just continuing to build layer after layer after layer, just trying to see what type of results I can get. Mixing paint directly on the palette, sometimes directly on Baby Groot. Now that I have access to a 3D printer, I'm curious to see what type of figures you want me to paint. I'm open to whatever. I think this is really fun, it's super relaxing, and the results are pretty awesome. This is a deep red paint from Artist Loft. It's a very cheap paint. I think I bought an entire kit for this for $5. It's a translucent, it's not a heavy body acrylic similar to the Sennelier. So I'm using it as more of a wash, just trying to build up some added character to the color. I thought it was looking a little too static, so I really wanted to just sort of change the tonality. So I realized I didn't have any green as part of my Chandelier lineup of colors. I'm again using the Artist Loft cheap acrylics. This is a green. Unfortunately, it's not a type of green like you see in the movie stills. You really want a moss green, but I'm just kind of working with what I have. I'm taking some of that same green and filling in some of these vine details that are on the body of Baby Groot. Now I want to do another dry brush pass with a more deeper brown. This is number 202, Burnt Umber. As I looked at more production stills, I realized that the CGI character color was actually tonally flat. So basically I'm pretending that this is going to be some sort of stop motion puppet that's going to be used in film. And I'm actually giving it a little bit more depth and dimension from what you can see from the CGI modeling. Now I'm going to use some of this fake moss that you get at any craft store. And I'm going to add some just standard Elmer's glue all, dries clear. And I'm going to mix it up into the moss and let it dry overnight so it'll harden into one piece, instead of having all these little pieces just sort of separating. Now that it's dry and it's hardened, I am able to attach it with just some glue to the top of the model's head. I'm using some epoxy glue, but you could pretty much use anything you want. I now had an idea to create some visual interest by making some fake vines. Unfortunately, I couldn't find any that were actually small enough for the character at the hobby store. So I just found this wire that you actually use to make fake flower arrangements. And this is actually the perfect thickness. And I'm just gonna wrap it around the arms, maybe try to create a little leaf here and there, just to give it some visual appeal. Here's a little trick I learned from the Create Sci-Fi YouTube channel. Go check it out if you haven't already seen it before. This is just clear gloss nail polish that I'm using on Baby Groot's eyes. Because the rest of the paint is flat, this will just give it a more lifelike look.
And there he is, Baby Groot. Definitely my favorite version of any of the ones we've seen on screen thus far. I looked at a lot of screenshots from the movie, and as I was applying paint directly to the model, as Bob Ross would say, they're happy accidents. This was so much fun to work on. So as I've stated previously, I don't actually own a 3D printer, but I have noticed that if you are in the market for one, now's a really good time to buy one because I've noticed that the price per value is very high. I think it really came out great. I really want to see how these colors stack up in nature. So let's just go outside and do a little photo shoot. And if you like this video, please like, share, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.